Greetings, members one and all of the Salivation Nation, with a video about Palladium. You know, Palladium is not a very popular metal to discuss here in the precious metals community, but it has broken records in terms of price, and it is sort of in a battle between platinum in terms of what it does and how it can be utilized in the auto catalyst industry. But also, as being a precious metal, you can buy it in form of bars and coins as well. Only rhodium is higher in price, but rhodium is a much rarer metal and very difficult to find in an affordable fashion anywhere, but especially difficult to find in terms of coins. I know of only one coin, and there are several manufacturers that have made bars out of them. But rhodium is mainly used for jewelry, but it is also used as a catalyst. But palladium is kind of the secret weapon in fighting pollution, but it's not all that secret anymore. It's just very high in demand. So let's explore this infographic here, and let's ask and pick it apart, because it is coming from a biased source. It says, despite growing hype around electrical vehicles, conventional gas-powered vehicles are expected to be on the road well into the future, and I agree with that for sure. As a result, exhaust systems will continue to be a critical tool in reducing harmful air pollution. The power of palladium. This is an infographic that comes from North American Palladium, so there's a bias right out front there. It demonstrates the unique properties of the precious metal and how it's used in catalytic converters around the world. In fact, palladium enables car manufacturers to meet stricter emission standards, making it a secret weapon for fighting pollution going forward. And palladium, it's a critical metal in reducing harmful emissions from gas-powered vehicles. As environmental standards rise, cars are using more and more palladium, straining current supplies. The world is going to need more palladium. So here we see global long-term passenger vehicle sales in terms of the millions of vehicles. We see internal combustion engines, plug-in hybrid electric vehicles, and battery electric vehicles. And you can see that the by 2040 it'll probably be about half and half between battery electric vehicles, plug-ins, hybrids, and internal combustion engines. And right now we have a very small percentage of them now. And even as such, despite the hype around electric vehicles, internal combustion engine vehicles will continue to be on the road well into the future. And the internal combustion engine relies on fossil fuels, which create air pollution when burned. To combat the issue, the use of exhaust systems with catalytic converters were developed to mitigate noxious emissions. Inside the catalytic converter is where the power of palladium is deployed. Palladium's unique properties make it well suited to meet stricter emission standards on internal combustion engine vehicles. So here we see what is palladium. It's one of 6 platinum metal groups, which share similar chemical, physical, and structural properties. PGMs have many uses, but palladium stands out as a catalyst in the exhaust systems of ICE vehicles to help reduce air pollution. And so here we see osmium, iridium, platinum, ruthenium, rhodium, and palladium. It's number 46 there. And it is interesting to see, and how this is not really mentioning platinum here so far, but it's very, platinum and palladium are very close and are interchangeable. We'll see what this says about it here. So here's the gross demand per sector. It's only about 555 million ounces for investment, 8,655 million ounces for the auto catalytic industry, 166 million ounces for jewelry, and 1,855 million ounces for other industrial uses, which means there is about 10,121 million ounces in demand for 2018, last year. And so here we see the palladium demand for auto catalyst Countries around the world are ramping up their efforts to curb their emissions, which represent the bulk of gross demand for palladium. And here, geographically, is where the demand is coming from. North America has almost the most, with 2,041, only surpassed by China with 2,117, Japan 859, and 1883 for Europe, and 1755 for the rest of the world, in millions of ounces there. Catalytic converters, the combustion of gasoline forms three primary pollutants. Hydrocarbons, nitrogen oxides are the major contributors to smog formation in cities, while carbon monoxide reduces the ability of blood to pick up and transport oxygen to the body. And we can see here, and we can see how it works. To produce a harmful emission, catalytic converters were developed. And there you can see a graphic of how that works and how it filters them out. No one drives in a laboratory or a straight line, and not all roads are the same. To account for this, vehicles that are being tested have stricter conditions that reflect real-world driving conditions, so it's known as real driving emissions. RDE requires vehicles to undergo outdoor driving tests under real-world conditions that vary. So tests showed that palladium performs much better than platinum under these conditions. Interesting, okay. And this is off their, this is sourced as well from a European study there. Urban roads, low speeds, motorways, year-round temperatures, additional vehicle payload, downhill and uphill driving. Diesel-powered light vehicles were considered a wonder vehicle, was cost-efficient to operate while curbing carbon emissions. Then in 2015 came Dieselgate. Volkswagen shook the diesel car industry by admitting that it had cheated on its emission test. Diesel engines are now being phased out in favor of gas-powered vehicles, but with stricter emission standards. RDE testing is already underway in some parts of China and the European Union. It will become mandatory in these regions by 2020. The difference between a diesel and gas exhaust system is the material in the catalytic converter. Diesel vehicles use platinum, while gas vehicles use more palladium. In addition, hybrid vehicles currently require higher palladium loadings in their catalytic converters. All right. So that is an interesting thing, and they're saying that palladium is more efficient. Of course, with the increase in stringent standards, that means that they're going to need more palladium because it works better and to meet those demands. So that is news to me here. I don't know how true it is. I'm a little skeptical because, especially with the fact that platinum is denser than palladium. So you would think that platinum would be better. So I don't know. So this retooling that I've been talking about for a while, I guess that's why they haven't done it. So where does palladium come from? About 90% of the world's palladium production comes as a byproduct of mining other metals. Wow, all right. For example, palladium is derived during the nickel and copper mining in Russia and platinum mining in South Africa. So only about 10% is primary production, and platinum operations are about 41%, and nickel operations 49%. If you look at the total mining, the total supply in 2018 was 6,888,000 ounces. Russia has 2,840,000. South Africa has 2,590,000, or 2,590,000, and the other is about 1.4 million ounces there. That's according to Johnson Matthey. There's global mining jurisdictions operational risk ranking. The majority of the world's palladium supply comes from mining jurisdictions with high risk overall. North American districts such as Montana and Ontario offer a safe and stable source of mined palladium, but they obviously don't have very much of it. So if you were to weigh the global mined palladium supply, it would be roughly the same weight as 65 fully loaded Mercedes G-Class SUVs. Interesting. So in order to meet demand for palladium, it must be recovered from a limited supply of scrapped automotive vehicles with spent palladium catalytic converters. So in 2018, 3.2 million ounces came from this secondary supply. And so now it says, why will palladium demand grow? The current price of palladium is driven by fundamental supply-demand issues, not investor speculation. That's right. And I think that's why silver, by the way, is as low as it is. The exact same reason. In 2018, total production was 6.88 million ounces, while total net demand was 6.909 million ounces, a deficit of 29,000 ounces. Between 2012 and 2018, there has been a persistent deficit that has amounted to approximately 5 million ounces, placing pressure on readily available supplies of palladium above ground. The exact quantity of available palladium stockpiles is not clearly known. Therefore, analysis uses the holdings of palladium ETFs as a proxy. That's interesting. They're going to go to paper to determine the amount of physical. Interesting. Well, according to the ETFs and NYMEX, palladium holdings in the ounces has gone down. ETF holdings are indicated that sustained deficits and dwindling available palladium supply. That has obviously caused the price to go up. Now, almost $1,800. It was $1,800 earlier. Internal combustion engine vehicles will continue to dominate the roads well into the future. According to Bloomberg New Energy Finance, it will not be until 2040 that ICE vehicles will lose 50% of their new car sales market to plug-in hybrids and battery electric vehicles. As emission standards become stricter, palladium demand will continue to increase, and that is that is the key, and that is probably why we've not seen that switch over to platinum like I had theorized. But I'm still skeptical about the data, because I was under the impression that palladium and platinum were virtually interchangeable. Platinum is denser. I would think it would be better as a catalyst. So growth in the hybrid vehicle market worldwide, gasoline engines replacing diesel in Europe, growth of SUV market share, sustained global automotive sales, and heightened emission standards worldwide. That's what's going to cause it to go up there. The world needs a stable, steady supply of palladium now and well into the future. So there's going to be a lot more of it coming, or a lot more mining, and trying to find as much palladium as possible, I guess. And it's a rare metal. It is rarer than platinum. It's obviously rarer than gold. And here, this little thing tells us the combustion of gasoline engines creates three primary pollutants. And so this says that, let's see, since no one drives in a straight line, these tests, which is basically that's what they said in the infographic above there. So very interesting indeed. And doesn't really say much more other than to say that palladium is better than platinum. But I don't know where the source of that. I'd love to see that source. Very interesting indeed. A fascinating infographic. What are your thoughts about it? Do you have any information or know anything about the effectiveness of palladium versus platinum as a catalyst? Would love to know your thoughts below. I'd like to extend a multitude of gratitude to y'all for watching, and encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.